Hey guys, what's up? It's Vittensby the StarCraft 2 dude with the third part in my World of Warcraft gold making series. There's two related videos to this on my channel. It's the How to Make Gold in World of Warcraft, Infinite Gold in World of Warcraft while AFK videos. In this video I'm going to be talking about how I earned 300,000 gold on one character in the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. I want to say do not buy gold guides. All you need to do is subscribe to my channel and visit my website vittensby.com. Thumbs up my videos, and please, after watching this video, do leave a comment. I would really appreciate it, guys. So this is going to be talking about 3 raid instances in this particular gold making guide. I'm going to be talking about Karazhan, Zul'Gurub, and Anchorage 20 farming. Wanted to say that you will need the master's key or to be an engineer and use blasting powder to open up the door. This really doesn't require any particular special gear. I've been doing this for 2 years now, and I started way back in the next Ramus raid cycle, wearing 213s to item level 200 gear. So it can be done in any level of gear. However, things that do help are the Signified Ring of Binding for extra spell damage resistance, the Shiny Shard of Flame for massive extra health per 5 regeneration, the Life Ward enchant for extra healing on your weapon, and if you're a druid, your 2-piece tier 10 for 20% more lacerate and swipe damage really helps. So I do recommend doing that. I also recommend buying a Kirin Tor ring and setting your hearth at Feathermoon Stronghold. First boss up is Midnight. Of course, we do have the mount chance, and he is estimated at a 55 gold value. The thing you want to know about doing these bosses is you want to skip the trash. You want to skip as much trash as possible. Cannot stress that enough. Stealth, get to the next boss. Morose, 55 gold value, and he also has enchant patterns. Recently Blizzard added the ability to get 100% drop rate on these bosses, so you can go back and farm Morose and he will drop many enchanting patterns if you are an enchanter. Like I had mentioned, he does have a 55 gold value and sometimes drops greens. The guys in the background right there, if you want to farm Karazhan trash, farm the non-elite trash in the first few rooms. The rest of them are just a waste of time. This guide is all about optimizing the maximum gold per hour, gold per minute. Skipping on to Maiden, which I like to call the AFK boss. Basically, it's a 50 gold value. Honestly, you can just go AFK and attack, auto attack. Moving into Opera, it's one of those kind of gambles, and it's going to determine where you go from there. In the background, that's another pack of trash that you can clear. Me personally, the easiest is the Wizard of Oz, and with some cats switching for interrupts, Romulo and Julianne is very easy. If it's a big bad wolf, I just hearth out and just say, okay, that's it for this week. In all honesty, it's a great little thing to do. I love farming these instances. I do this because it's fun for me. I love coming back here. The gold is just a bonus for me. However, off of this boss, you can get, it's about a 50 gold value, I would estimate. If you look in the upper right hand corner, you can see that I was able to do this. I did take a couple minute break here or there, but I was able to do this in very little time. Also with Nightbane, you no longer need the urn, so you can go in as long as you have the key, and no problem, just click on that urn, it's there all the time. Nightbane is a little bit of a longer boss because he does have about 1,000,000 health. It does take a little bit longer to do. I believe I was doing about 2.5k DPS in my feral tanking gear. And just wanted to say he's about a 65 gold value, and I'm not having to have the urn means you don't have to do a very long quest line, but I do actually have the urn from back in the day. Moving on to Zul'Gurub, I like to go in and kill off very quickly the Venoxus boss. Snake boss, he's a 35 gold value. Before we continue on, I did want to mention that Shade of Iran, Ilhoof, and Curator are all very easily soloable. I just don't like going through all the trash. Again, this is maximizing your gold per hour. If you want to get rid of the Parasite, feel free to just keep on moving and just use a Fairy Fire if you're a druid. Mandokir, the Raptor Mount boss, by basically about a 35 gold value, I would say. Nothing special here, but of course you get the mount chance drop. They did, I believe, nerf these gold drops a long time ago when they did the Onyxia cleanup, where you could solo Onyxia and get like 300, 400 gold in about 20 minutes every week on multiple characters. Thick Hall, he drops the Tiger boss. He's a Tiger Mount boss, about a 35 gold value. Really nothing special. Just save your cooldowns, lacerate everything up, make sure that the guys are at about 50-40% health depending on your gear level. Pop berserk and just beat them down. It's really nothing. None of these things require any amount of hard work or skill, or you don't have to be like a Gosu gold farmer player or anything like that. It's just fun to do. There's a lot of room for error with the current gear level. Just skip the trash. That's what I always like to say. Just skip the trash. The trash is more or less worthless. Optionally I go to Arlok, the Panther boss. You do have a chance at an 18 slot bag. If you bring your buddies, there's some pretty cool fist weapons that transform you into a tiger. I did one time with a friend, and he was an enhancement shaman. He was able to get both of the main hand and the offhands. And of course, you do have a chance at a really, really funny looking lollipop stick, as I like to call it. So that's just one of the little RP gear, as they say on my server, or just fun little gear you can get. Of course, I do like to pass on all of these belts and stuff like that. But moving on to AQ20, Kuranax, he's basically, you just keep on backpedaling. Just backpedal, avoid the sand, and you're gonna have no problems. The sand gives you a hit debuff. There's a large margin for error. It was a lot harder to do this with 25 or 30k health. Having 50k health or more, no problem. Skip as much trash as you can. Just go from boss to boss. Of course, there is waves before Rajaks. They're not very difficult. Just don't pull them all at once. Kurnax has a 40-50 gold value. Rajaks has about a 50 to 60 gold value. One thing I wanted to mention is if you do get the Scarab coffers, the Scarab coffer keys, a lot of people don't realize. They think that, that stuff's just vendor trash. It's not. Just put it up, but put those things up on the AH. The Scarabs actually sell for 1 gold each, and I like to sell the idols for around 5 to 10 gold each, and they do actually sell. I was very happy this year that I was able to get the Brewfest mount. Just got that last year. They changed things up, and last year I really was disappointed because all my friends that I was running with every single day, they all got the Kodo and the Ram, and I was the last one, and the Kodo just did not drop for me. I kept on getting outrolled. So I did get the Ram last year, but I was very happy to open my bag on the second day and get the Kodo. Now I just want the remote. So again, open up the Scarab coffers. People think, again, it's vendor trash, but it's not. That right there, those 2 bags is going to fetch me about 10 to 20 gold. And if you think about it with the Scarab, sometimes you get sometimes you get extra idols. You could just go ahead and sell those, like I had mentioned, for 1 gold per Scarab is pretty fair, and 5 gold per idol. People use them for the quests, people that are working on Lore Master, people that want to get the old school gear. There's lots of uses for that, and not every class is able to farm it. But as a druid, as a tank, I always say you have to have a tank. Raise up a death knight to be a tank if you don't have a druid. Paladins, druids, I don't know about warriors, but paladins, druids, and I know for sure death knights can do this very, very easily. Mome is one of those special bosses in here that I've gotten a very rare drop from, called the Black Grasp of the Destroyer. This is a pattern that doesn't drop very often, but I have sold it on the auction house to collectors for 2,500 to 5,000 gold. So part of these instance farmings is the gold drops, as I talked about. Mome is worth about 50 to 60 gold. Part of it is that, but part of it is there's these rare drops that you sometimes get. Old World Epics, that's another 200, 300 gold on top of it. Sometimes you get some really nice rare BOEs, that's another 100 to 150 gold on top of it, depending on server. But really what I go to old world places for, even places like UBRS, stuff like that, I go for the drops, I go for the coin, I go for the stuff that you can vendor. And sell in the auction house. These flesh hunters, stay the hell away from them because they will absolutely own you. They basically digest you, and there's nothing that you can do. You can burst them down very quickly, but in all honesty, I had to be in my DPS gear, my balance gear. Balance is my main spec. Feral tank is my off spec. I was a feral tank back in the Nax days and the early Ulduar days, and then switched back to balance. And I don't know, back in BC I was a Moonkin, and I was also a Resto Druid. Osirian the Unscarred by far is the best boss in this instance. He's worth anywhere between 90 and 100 gold on average. You do get the head of Osirian, and that's definitely worth worth a quest in Lore Master, and that's pretty nice. I did that a long time ago, so I just pass on this gear. Those hilts and all the other stuff, the regal drapes and stuff like that, that stuff is used for stuff back in the Cenarian Outpost in Silithus, and there's quests there if you're working on Lore Master that you can use that stuff for. You know, all in all, I love doing this. I've done it for so many years, and you know, I make most of my gold on the auction house, but this is well worth my time. It took about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at most to go through all these instances, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So yes, this is just a small part on how I made 300,000 gold, and again, if you want, you can go look at the other videos on my channel. As always, subscribe, rate, you know, if you like my videos enough, you know, leave a comment, and of course, any you know, any more subscribers I really appreciate, guys. So this is Vittensby, the StarCraft 2 dude, aka champion of Ulduar Vittensby, from World of Warcraft, signing out, guys.